Hey there, this is the third episode about how to deal with different characters as Tracer, and this time we're going to talk about tank and support characters. If you didn't watch the previous episodes yet, make sure you click the links in the description. Hello guys, and welcome to the dojo. This video is going to go over 1v1 situations against tanks and supports. As in the previous videos, we're going to see which scenarios are favorable and winnable, and which ones you should try to avoid. If you're interested in general tips about how to win your 1v1s, watch the first video in this series. A quick service announcement. If you want to get better in the game but feel stuck in your current rank, go and reserve a coaching spot on our Patreon page. We can help you to get better if you're dedicated. Click the card right now. Alright, let's get to the 1v1 situations. Starting with the tanks, we're going to see how to deal with the bulky frontliners of Overwatch with Tracer. This should help you understand your strengths and weaknesses in these lineups to be able to secure more kills effectively. Most tanks are hard to take down, even with your high DPS, as they have access to different damage mitigation tools and self-healing abilities. However, they are a good way to charge your ultimate, and if you get help to destroy their armor, you have a lot better chance at dealing with them. Speaking about armor, you'll usually want to wait until the enemy frontline loses their armor. Armor halves any damage that is below 10, and a single bullet from your gun hits for about 4 damage to the body. This means that while the enemy tanks are healthy, it is much harder for you to try to kill them. We are going to discuss 1v1 situations here, but in a team setting, it's a lot easier for you to go in for the kill if the enemy is already damaged.
Here comes a new challenger!
Alright, we're going to start with Tracer vs Deva. This is a bait matchup. Deva is able to hit you hard from up close with the rockets, boost, and basic attacks, but she's huge and slow while in the mech. While you're in a 1v1 situation, baiting out the rockets are the most important part. When you're in a pure 1v1 scenario, approach the Deva while continuously trying to hit the headshot area. This will usually make the Deva player launch the rockets at you while defending herself with a shield. You should only really worry about avoiding the rockets here. Stepping sideways or blinking behind the enemy is the best way to disorient the Deva and pump some serious damage into non-protected areas. When the Deva is off guard, you can approach her from the sides and get really close to make sure the full clip hits. This way you can pump free damage into a huge target, an opportunity you should never miss. If the Deva turns to you, the same thing applies as previously. Dodge the rockets and blink around her to kill the mech. When the mech is done, you still have a baby Deva to fight. The most important thing to note here is the Bunny Blaster has high damage, and if you're moving predictably, you can go down quickly to the shots. Try to get close and dodge sideways, stepping away from the bullets. You can also blink around, but calibrating after a jump can be hard as the model of the baby Deva is quite hard to hit. When the Deva ults, she not only does damage, but resets her mech with all of the abilities. If you're quick enough to kill the baby Deva safely while the ultimate is going off, always try to do so. A whole new mech can cause a lot of trouble.
I'm simply following my programming.
The next is Tracer vs Irisa. This is a bait matchup as Irisa can be really resilient when she has her abilities. Your goal is to time your damage well and bait abilities in reaction to your attacks. Irisa players are usually setting up nests, and they're always going to have a shield around them. Your strategy here is to dodge the projectiles actively and bait out abilities. Irisa has a very large head hitbox, so hitting that from close range shouldn't really be an issue. She does have a set of tools, however, that is hard to deal with if the player is good. Again, blink around to disorient and do damage to her while she's not paying attention. Shield dancing is an art in and of itself, and good players will do that against you, meaning that they'll step to the different sides of the shield in order to put it between themselves and you. A shield dancing Irisa can freely damage you while shield dancing, however you'll have a hard time finding a spot where you can attack her. Apart from her shield that will be replenished before it goes down, you have to pay attention to the halt ability as well. Irisa can pull you upwards with it and make you an easy target to hit, or force you to burn more blinks than you'd like to. Pay close attention to the audio and visual effects of the ability, and try to step away before it can pull you in. If you are unable to escape from it, just burn a blink to get away ASAP, as you are an easy to hit dummy while suspended in the air. It's also important to try to bait the fortify, then go against the head. When this ability is active, it halves the damage against Irisa. Try to wait for the full duration. You can see the Irisa glowing while in this state. Then go for the head. When the Irisa places her ultimate, it's usually protected by a shield. You can get behind the nest more easily than anyone. Just pay attention to your health. Killing the supercharger is a must, as it gives a lot of damage to Irisa and her team.
Are you you afraid to fight me?
Next up is Tracer vs Reinhardt. This matchup needs patience, and you'll usually win if you have good distance control with your blinks. Rein has a lot of armor and HP, and he can shield whenever he feels like to protect himself against frontal attacks. Distance control is really important because apart from his fire strike, he won't be able to reach you if you stay far away from the hammer distance. A single hit from the hammer does 75 damage though, so if you get hit twice, you're done for. Don't stay too close. In most cases, you want to flank the Rein and open up from an angle that's not protected by a shield. His first reaction is usually to throw a fire strike at you, so if you're able to dodge that, you should be alright. It's important to know that even if you come from an angle, the Rein can still hit you if you're too close by swinging the hammer and spinning around. His swing can reach up to 5 meters, but there's a sweet spot where he can reach you even farther. When the Rein is preoccupied with you, you should try to maneuver around him and aim for the head, as it can still be hit from behind. That's basically it. If you have experience in this matchup, you can prepare for the Rein to use his ultimate and blink away from it. You have a split second to do so, but it is doable, and works with the recall as well. If any of your teammates are hit by the Earthshatter and you're not, you can expect the Rein to go for those teammates, and usually he's not going to care about you too much. But hey, that means free damage for you.
Welcome to the apocalypse.
The next matchup is Tracer vs Roadhog. This is a bait matchup and a really favorable one. Roadhog is a great ultimate battery, as he only has his raw HP for protection, no armor to negate your damage. Baiting the hook is vital in this setup, and you don't want to stay at point blank range or you can go down to a single attack. It's also important to experience how his right click works, because if you stay in range for it to pop where you stand, you'll get a lot of pain from the shotgun. If you see a Roadhog wandering around, just go for it. Start pumping damage to the head. Avoid approaching in a direct line or it'll be easy to hook and kill you. If you come from an angle, he's going to try to spin around to find you and land a hook. Expect this reaction from Hog players, and blink away when you see the motion. When the Hog loses around half of his HP, he's going to try to go heal himself. While in that state, you can freely damage him for half of your DPS. Just make sure not to get too greedy. In case the Hog ults, your best bet is to withdraw and wait for it to end. If you're the single target around it, it's really hard to get to him. If he doesn't pay attention to you, flank from behind or from the side.
For the last time, no more bananas.
Tracer vs Winston is a distance keeping matchup. Winston is really susceptible to damage, as his headshot hitbox is really easy to hit. The important thing here is to keep your distance and don't let the Winston auto-attack you. In a 1v1 scenario, you have to pay attention to his shield and jumps. Avoiding the jumps are the easier part. Just make sure that you blink away if you see him jumping. Note that he can collide with a wall and fall down on you to get closer and do damage, so pay attention to where you're standing and deny him from easily cornering you or falling on you. The shield is a really good tool against you, however it only lasts for 5 seconds, and you're better off waiting for it to disappear than going in and trying to do damage. Winston will try to bait you in close to the barrier and shield dance around it. The recall is best kept in case he lands on you somehow. This is the biggest burst damage he can do. When Winston pops his ultimate, you can try to use him as an ultimate battery for yours. Note that he can jump more frequently and the damage from the smashes can add up quickly, so be careful where you stand.
Give me your best shot!
Tracer vs Zarya is a bait matchup. It does have a duality to it, because you need to fight differently against a non-charged and a highly charged Zarya. Zarya is a really high priority target in a team scenario, as she's able to protect low health allies that you want to hunt down. For this reason, if you can go for the Zarya, you should try to do so. The no-brainer tip here is to bait out the shield and make sure that you don't give her any charge. Zarya players tend to wait until their personal shields, 200 of their HP, are depleted and only shield themselves after that. This is done to allow the personal shields to recharge while in the bubble. If someone else is around, the Zarya can project the barrier to that player and hide behind it, using body blocking to start recharging her shields. Watch out for these kinds of patterns. When she's alone, she has access to a single shield, and you should feel free to unleash your wrath until her bubble pops. This is easy when she's not charged. If you're fighting a Zarya that has full charge for some reason, you should really be on your toes. Her right click can and will disorient and damage you heavily. If you don't manage your blinks well, you can become toast in no time. Controlling your recall is a very important skill when you're going against a charged Zarya, as well as dodging the right clicks. The fully charged beam basic attack will do tremendous amounts of damage, but she's usually reliant on the right click as it has an AoE that makes it easier to hit a tracer blinking around. Regarding her ultimate, there's not much you can really do. You can usually predict when she has one, as Zarya players will push forward in most situations to use it aggressively. If you feel like she's going to go for one, just blink away as soon as possible. Getting caught in a graviton is a sure death in most situations. We really hope that these tips will help elevate your tracer play. As always, if you like what we're doing here, please like, favorite, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Alright, we'll see you guys in the next video.